Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. We're all out here on this journey, walking this path called life. And let me tell you, life is not easy. It's not going to give you everything you want just because you ask for it. It's not about your circumstances. It's about what you do with what you've been given. Every single one of you has a choice. You can choose to sit back and complain, or you can choose to stand up and take responsibility for your own life. Now, this is important, so listen up. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, and I see it all the time, is when they focus on other people. We get so caught up in what everyone else is doing, in comparing ourselves to the next person, that we forget about the one thing that truly matters ourselves. You can't be worried about what someone else is doing. You can't focus on where someone else is going. You need to focus on yourself. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying you shouldn't be kind, that you shouldn't help others. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is you've got to put your energy into your own growth, your own development. If you're busy looking at someone else's plate, you're going to miss what's on your own. You're going to miss your own blessings, your own opportunities. We all got problems. Every single person sitting here, we all got challenges, we all got our struggles, we all got things that we're fighting through, things that are pulling us down. But you know what? That's life. And if you're not careful, if you're not focused on the right things, it will eat you alive. It'll pull you in every direction, and before you know it, you'll be stuck standing still. And that's the thing that kills most people, standing still. Not moving forward. Not taking steps, no matter how small, toward the life you want to create. And the only way to move forward, to really move forward, is to put the energy into yourself. Focus on yourself. Invest in yourself. Do the work. Because let me tell you, the world is not going to give you anything for free. You have to earn it. You have to put in the time. It's about consistency, determination, and having a mindset that refuses to quit. You see, the world doesn't owe you anything. It's not going to hand you success just because you want it. But what you can do is put in the work, put in the effort, and focus on what's going to make you better. And I'm not just talking about success in the way you might think. I'm talking about success in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit. You've got to build that up first. That's the foundation. You can't skip that part. So you've got to work on yourself every single day. Look at what you did yesterday and ask yourself, was I better than I was yesterday? If the answer is no, then guess what? You've got work to do. But this is where most people get caught up. They see someone else moving fast, getting results, and they think they should be doing the same thing. They think, why aren't I there yet? But listen, it's not about them. It's about you. And where you are today is not where you're going to be tomorrow if you do the work. But that takes time, and you can't rush it. Everybody wants things overnight. Everybody wants that quick fix. But success doesn't work like that. When you focus on someone else's success, you're distracting yourself from the work you need to do. You're putting your energy into someone else's journey instead of your own. And you can't do that. You've got to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're worthy of your own attention. You've got to stop looking at someone else's life and measuring your worth against theirs. You can't do that. It's not a race. Life is not a competition. It's about you. It's about your growth. Let me tell you something that's going to change your life. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your potential, even when nobody else does. There are going to be people who doubt you. There are going to be people who laugh at your dreams, who tell you it can't be done. But you've got to block that out. You've got to keep your eyes on the prize, and that prize is you. That's what you need to focus on. Your dreams, your goals, your mission, not somebody else's. And I know it's hard sometimes. I know you're going to have doubts. I know you're going to have moments where you feel like giving up, where it feels like nothing is going your way. But those are the moments that matter. Those are the moments that show what you're really made of. When you're at your lowest, when everything is falling apart, that's when your real strength shows up. That's when you get to see who you really are. But it won't happen if you're too busy looking at someone else. It won't happen if you're too distracted by what everyone else is doing. So focus on yourself. Do what you need to do for yourself. Stop worrying about what's happening on someone else's journey. Your journey is your own. And the only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. The only thing you should be measuring is your own progress. And I promise you, if you stay focused on that, if you stay focused on your growth and your purpose, you will get where you need to go. But don't take it for granted. Don't think it's going to be easy. It's not. You're going to struggle. You're going to have setbacks. But you've got to keep going. Because the only way to fail is to stop. The only way to lose is to quit. If you keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible, even when everything is telling you to stop, you will get to where you want to go. But you've got to keep your eyes on yourself. And let me tell you this, you don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know exactly how things are going to work out. All you need to know is that you're going to work hard every single day and you're going to keep moving forward. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to keep doing the work day after day and let the results speak for themselves. So focus on yourself. Focus on what you can control. Focus on getting better. And when you do that, when you put all your energy into your own growth, the rest will take care of itself. Trust me, you've got everything you need to succeed, but it starts with you. It starts with believing. The importance of directing your energy toward personal development and growth, rather than comparing yourself to others. You need to invest in yourself and stay focused on your own journey. Constantly comparing your progress or achievements to others can lead to distraction and frustration. Life is not a race or competition. Your only competition should be the person you were yesterday. Acknowledge that challenges and setbacks are a natural part of life. True strength shows in how you handle adversity, and you must keep moving forward regardless of obstacles or doubts. Self-belief is key to success. Even when others doubt you, trust your potential and stay committed to your goals. Consistency, hard work, and determination will ultimately lead to success. You see, life is a journey, and that journey is not defined by how quickly you reach your destination, but by how much you grow along the way. Growth is the essence of everything we do. It's the foundation upon which success is built, and if you're not focused on growing, then what are you really doing? Growth doesn't just happen automatically. It's something that takes intentionality, dedication, and sometimes even discomfort. It's easy to look around and see the achievements of others and wish you could be there, but you've got to realize that those achievements didn't come without struggle. They didn't come without someone working relentlessly on their own growth day in and day out. When you focus on your own growth, you stop measuring yourself by the standards and successes of others. You stop worrying about how fast someone else is moving or how far ahead they seem to be. Because here's the thing, growth is not linear. It's not about how quickly you can get from point A to point B. It's about the depth and quality of the growth you experience as you travel that path. You're on your own timeline, and comparing it to anyone else's only serves to distract you from the true purpose of your journey. Growth starts with the decision to commit to it. It starts when you decide that you're not going to stay the same. You're not going to settle for being average. You're not going to accept being stuck in a place where you know you're capable of more. It's that decision that separates those who achieve greatness from those who live a life of mediocrity. But just making that decision isn't enough. It takes continuous work. It takes daily effort to improve. It's not about one breakthrough moment. It's about consistent day-to-day changes that add up over time. When you commit to focusing on your own growth, you embrace the fact that growth isn't always comfortable. It's not about staying in your comfort zone where everything feels safe and familiar. Real growth happens when you push yourself beyond the limits you've set for yourself. When you step into uncomfortable situations and when you do the things that scare you. You can't expect to become a better version of yourself if you're only willing to stay within the boundaries of what feels easy. No, real growth comes when you face challenges head on, when you step up and take responsibility for your own development. And here's another important part of growth: learning from your mistakes. There is no growth without failure. There is no growth without falling down, getting knocked back, and having to get up again. Failure is part of the process. It's a sign that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself, that you're putting in the effort to grow. But it's how you respond to that failure that matters. If you let failure stop you, then you've missed the lesson it was meant to teach. If you let failure define you, then you'll never move forward. But if you learn from it, if you pick yourself back up and keep moving, then that failure becomes the very thing that propels you forward. Sometimes the hardest part of growth is letting go of old habits, old ways of thinking, and old patterns that have held you back. It's easy to stick with what you know, even when you know it's not serving you. We're creatures of habit, and change can be intimidating. But if you're serious about growth, you've got to be willing to let go of the things that no longer serve you. You've got to let go of limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, and any other obstacles that stand in your way. The process of growth is a process of shedding the old you so the new, stronger version of you can emerge. And that takes courage. You've got to realize that growth is a lifelong process. There is no end point. There's no point where you can say, I've made it. I'm done, because the moment you think that, you stop growing. You start stagnating. The greatest minds in the world, the most successful people understand this. They understand that no matter how high they climb, there's always more to learn, always more to experience, always more to improve upon. You can't let yourself get complacent. You can't let yourself fall into the trap of thinking that because you've reached a certain level of success, that's it. Growth doesn't stop, and neither should you. Focus on your growth in every area of your life, not just one. You've got to take a holistic approach. Growth isn't just about getting better at your job or achieving career success. It's about growing as a person. It's about being more disciplined, more responsible, more patient, more empathetic. It's about growing emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you've got to be committed to improving in all these areas. You've got to be focused on becoming a better human being, not just a better professional. True growth involves every aspect of your life because they're all connected. When one area grows, it helps the others grow too. And that's how you begin to see true transformation. Part of focusing on your growth is knowing where you need to improve. Self-awareness is key. You can't grow if you don't acknowledge the areas where you're falling short. It's easy to point out the flaws in others, but what about yourself? Are you brave enough to look at yourself in the mirror and be honest about where you need work? Are you willing to confront the parts of you that aren't serving your growth? Because until you do that, you'll keep making the same mistakes, repeating the same patterns, and wondering why you're not moving forward. And let's not forget that growth takes time. We live in a world where everyone wants instant results, instant success, instant gratification. But that's not how real growth works. It's a slow burn. It's something that builds up over time. You don't plant a seed and expect it to turn into a tree overnight. You water it, you nurture it, and you wait. The same goes for your growth. You have to trust the process. You have to be patient with yourself. It won't happen overnight, but if you keep putting in the work, if you keep showing up every day, it will happen. Growth is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about moving forward, even if it's one small step at a time. There are going to be D's when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, when you feel like your progress is too slow, when you feel like giving up. But that's when you've got to push through. You've got to keep going. Because success isn't about having it all figured out. It's about never quitting. It's about showing up every day, no matter what. And remember this, you are capable of more than you think. You are capable of growing in ways that you can't even imagine right now. But that growth starts with you. It starts with your decision to focus on yourself, to invest in yourself, and to commit to doing the work every single day. Don't wait for someone else to push you. Don't wait for the perfect circumstances. Take responsibility for your own growth. Take control of your own destiny. Focus on yourself. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. You see someone else succeeding, doing well, or achieving something you've always wanted, and instantly that voice in your head starts. Why can't I do that? Why am I not there yet? What's wrong with me? It's natural. It's human. But let me tell you something, the moment you start comparing yourself to someone else, you're robbing yourself of the focus and energy you need to become the best version of you. It's not about them. It's not about their life, their journey, their success. It's about you. And if you keep looking at someone else's path, you'll miss the opportunity to walk your own. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I can tell you, when you're busy looking at someone else's plate, you're going to forget to appreciate your own meal. You're going to forget to appreciate the things that make you unique, the things that make you different from everyone else. Every person has their own story, their own struggles, their own timeline. So why are you trying to measure your success by someone else's? It's not going to work. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to live a life that wasn't meant for you. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're ignoring the most important person in the equation, you. You're distracted. You're focused on someone else's success, their achievements, their timeline. And that's the problem. You forget about your own journey. You forget that you have your own set of strengths, your own potential, your own possibilities. No two journeys are the same, and when you compare yourself to others, you're trying to fit yourself into a mold that wasn't made for you. You're living in someone else's shadow, and that's not where you belong. You have to accept that you're on your own path. That means your successes will come at different times than someone else's. Your failures will teach you lessons that they may never experience. Your story is different, and that's a beautiful thing. But as long as you're focused on someone else, you won't have the clarity to see how powerful your own story is. One of the biggest problems with comparison is that it often comes from a place of insecurity. We feel like we're not enough, like we don't measure up. And that's where comparison gets dangerous. It feeds those insecurities, amplifies them, and makes us feel like we're lacking. The truth is, you're not lacking anything. You're not behind. You're not less than. You have everything you need right now to be who you are meant to be. You just have to focus on your growth, your journey, and trust that things will unfold in their own time. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you're not just taking away from your own joy. You're also distorting your own self-image. You start measuring your worth by someone else's standards, someone else's achievements. And that's not fair to you. You're allowing someone else's success to determine your value, and that's a dangerous game to play. Your worth isn't defined by what someone else has accomplished. Your worth isn't defined by their timing. Your worth is inherent. It's inside you. But you have to stop comparing to see that. Here's the thing about comparison. It's not just about measuring your success against others. It's about the way it shifts your focus. When you focus too much on what others are doing, you start neglecting what you should be doing. You start ignoring the work that needs to be done on your own journey. And that's a huge mistake. You can't afford to waste time looking at someone else's progress when you should be putting all your energy into your own. Time is the one thing we can't get back. So why spend it looking at someone else's timeline, wishing you were on the same track? The truth is, we'll never know what's going on behind the scenes in someone else's life. We don't see the hard work, the sacrifices, the struggles they face to get to where they are. All we see is the finished product. We see the success, the glory, the rewards, but we don't see the sleepless nights, the failures, the rejection, and the pain they've gone through to get there. We don't see the battles they fought with themselves. So why are we comparing our beginning to someone else's middle? Why are we measuring ourselves against someone else's journey when we don't know the full story? Everyone has their own pace, their own timeline. Someone may reach success sooner than you, but that doesn't diminish your potential. It doesn't mean you're behind. Life is not a race. It's not about who gets there first. It's about your individual progress, your individual growth. What's meant for you will come in its own time. You don't need to rush it, and you certainly don't need to measure it against someone else's clock. One of the most destructive parts of comparison is the way it clouds your sense of gratitude. When you're constantly comparing your achievements to someone else's, you start to forget about your own blessings. You start to overlook the progress you've made, the steps you've taken. When you're looking at someone else, it's easy to forget how far you've come. It's easy to forget all the obstacles you've overcome and the small victories you've won. But that's a mistake. You need to take a moment and look at where you are, what you've achieved, and how far you've come. Your growth is valuable, and it deserves recognition. Think about it. If you spent less time looking at other people's progress, how much more could you focus on your own? How much more could you achieve if you just put all that energy back into yourself? Every minute you spend worrying about someone else is a minute you could have spent building your own future. So why give that time away? Why let someone else's journey distract you from your own? Stop waiting for the approval of others. Stop waiting for someone else's validation. Your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It doesn't need to follow the same steps, the same timeline, or the same blueprint. Your journey is yours, and that's what makes it special. The key to success is not in trying to mirror someone else's life. It's in defining your own success, setting your own goals, and following your own path. There's power in owning your own story and being unapologetically you. Now, I know that there are going to be moments when it feels hard not to compare yourself. It's tough, especially when you see someone else achieving something that you want. But those moments are the very moments when you have to remind yourself of your own value, your own potential. You have to remind yourself that their success doesn't take anything away from you. Just because someone else gets ahead doesn't mean there's less room for you. Their success is not a reflection of your worth, and your success is not a reflection of their lack. There's enough room for all of us, but we have to focus on our own growth. on our own path and let go of the unnecessary distractions of comparison. So the next time you find yourself looking at someone else and wondering why you're not there yet, ask yourself, what can I do today to move myself closer to where I want to be? Stop looking at the destination and start focusing on the next step you need to take. Stop worrying about how far behind you are and start appreciating how far you've come. Stop measuring yourself by other people's success and start measuring yourself by your own progress. Because when you stop comparing yourself to others, that's when you truly start living your life. When you stop focusing on their journey, that's when you can focus on creating your own. You have a unique purpose, a unique path, and your time will come as long as you keep working on it. You are enough right where you are, and you don't need to be anyone else to prove it. Perseverance. It's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but do we truly understand what it means? We hear it in motivational speeches, read it in self-help books, and use it as a badge of honor when we're pushing through tough times. But let's talk about what perseverance really is. It's not just about pushing through the easy times. It's not about those moments when everything is going well, when the sun is shining and everything seems to fall into place. No, perseverance is about what you do when the storm hits. It's about standing tall in the face of adversity, not when things are going right, but when they're going wrong. When life throws you down, when it knocks you off your feet, when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, that's when perseverance matters. You see, we all face struggles in life. It's inevitable. No one is exempt from hardship. Whether it's personal failure, financial struggle, loss, heartbreak, or just the everyday battles that life throws at us, we all face challenges. And when those challenges come, when those struggles show up on our doorstep, it's easy to feel like we're done. It's easy to want to throw in the towel, to give up and walk away. We start to question everything. Why is this happening to me? Why can't things just go the way I want them to? What's the point of pushing forward if it feels like I'm never going to make it? That's the moment when perseverance becomes the most important thing in the world. You have to make a decision right then and there. Will you keep going even when it's hard? Will you continue the fight even when it feels like you're losing? Or will you give in to the pressure, let the weight of the struggle crush you, and walk away from everything you've worked for? That decision right there is what separates those who succeed from those who fall short. It's what defines the winners from the ones who give up. Perseverance is not a trait that you're born with. It's something you develop over time. It's something you build brick by brick every time you face a challenge. Every time life gets tough and you keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it, you're building perseverance. It's not about being strong all the time. It's about having the strength to keep going even when you're not at your strongest. It's about making the choice to rise even when you've been knocked down 1,000 times. But here's the thing you have to understand, that struggles are not something to be avoided. We often think that pain, failure, and hardship are signs that something is wrong. But in reality, they're the exact opposite. Struggles are signs that you're growing. Struggles are signs that you're moving forward, even when it feels like you're standing still. It's in the struggle that you learn who you really are. It's in the struggle that you find out what you're made of. When everything is easy, there's no need for perseverance. But when the road is hard, when the path is rocky, that's when your character is forged. Perseverance is also about accepting the fact that success doesn't happen overnight. It's about understanding that you won't always see immediate results. You won't always get the instant gratification that we're all so used to in this fast-paced world. The thing about real success is that it's built over time. It's built with patience, with hard work, and most importantly, with persistence. When you hit a roadblock, when you get knocked down, it's not the end of your journey. It's just another part of it. Every setback, every failure, every obstacle is just another step along the path to your success. The road might be long, it might be difficult, but it is worth it. And understand this, you're not the only one who's struggling. Everyone goes through their own battles. Everyone faces hardships. Everyone gets knocked down at some point. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is what happens after they get knocked down. Will you stay down, or will you get back up? Will you let life's struggles defeat you, or will you learn from them, grow from them, and use them as fuel to push forward. That's the real test. You see, we often think that successful people have it easy, that they somehow avoid the struggles we face. But the truth is, they've just learned how to persevere through them. They've learned how to keep going when everyone else would have quit. You have to understand that there will be times when it feels like you're not making progress, even when you're putting in the work. You will face moments of doubt, frustration, and exhaustion. You will question whether it's worth it. But in those moments, remember this, it's always worth it. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. And when you finally reach that goal, when you look back and see all the hard work, all the sacrifices, all the times you didn't give up, you will know that every single struggle was worth it. One of the most important things to remember is that perseverance isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it. Failure is not the end of the road, it's just a detour. Every time you fail, you learn something. Every time you stumble, you get stronger. The more you fail, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the closer you get to achieving your dreams. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than you can count. But they didn't let those failures stop them. They learned from them. They used them as stepping stones to get closer to their goals. They didn't see failure as defeat. They saw it as an opportunity to get better. You have to change your mindset when it comes to failure. Stop seeing it as a bad thing. Stop letting it hold you back. Failure is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. Because without failure, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. Without perseverance, there is no success. It's all part of the process. It's all part of what makes you who you are. So when you face a setback, when you experience a failure, don't run from it. Don't let it define you. Let it strengthen you. Let it teach you. Let it push you forward. Because on the other side of that struggle, there is something great waiting for you. But here's the real key to perseverance. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to have an unshakable faith in your ability to get through whatever life throws at you. When everything around you is falling apart, when the world seems to be against you, the only thing that will keep you going is your belief in yourself. You have to trust that you are strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. You have to know deep down that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle, no matter how big or small. That belief is what will keep you going when the road gets tough. It's what will help you push through when everything inside you is telling you to give up. Perseverance doesn't mean you won't get tired. It doesn't mean you won't feel like quitting. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. But it does mean that you don't stop. It means you keep going, even when you feel like you can't take another step. It means that no matter how many times you fall, you get back up. It means you keep moving forward, one step at a time, until you reach your destination. That's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who don't. It's not talent, not luck, not intelligence. It's perseverance. It's the ability to keep going when everyone else would have quit. So remember, no matter what you're facing, no matter how difficult the struggle seems, keep going, don't stop. Don't give up. Because perseverance is the key to everything. It's the key to success. It's the key to growth. It's the key to becoming the person you were meant to be. So when you feel like you can't go on, when you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, remember that you have the strength to carry it. You have. Believing in yourself is one of the most powerful and essential things you can do. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without self-belief, the path to success becomes incredibly difficult, if not impossible. And yet, so many of us struggle with believing in ourselves. We allow doubt to creep in, we listen to the negative voices in our heads, and we give in to the pressure of what other people think or expect of us. But here's the truth, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. You are the first person who has to commit to your success. You are the first person who has to see the potential within you. Without that belief, you are limiting what you can achieve in this world. So where does self-belief come from? It's not something you're born with. It's something you develop, cultivate, and nurture over time. It's a mindset, a choice that you make every single day. And yes, there will be days when it's hard to believe in yourself. There will be moments when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel unqualified, when you feel like you're not good enough. But I need you to understand that those feelings are temporary. Those feelings do not define you. They are just moments in time, and they will pass. What truly matters is the unwavering belief that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle and achieving your dreams, no matter how hard it may seem. Believing in yourself starts with understanding your worth. You have something unique to offer the world. You have strengths, talents, and qualities that no one else has. The way you think, the way you see the world, the way you act, it's all part of your individuality. But too often, we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, measuring our worth by someone else's standards, and losing sight of the incredible value that we bring to the table. Stop looking around at other people and questioning whether or not you measure up. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to be like someone else. What you need is to recognize that you are enough as you are. Now, I know it's not always easy to believe in yourself. Life has a way of throwing obstacles in our path, of creating moments of doubt and fear. We face failure, rejection, and disappointment. Sometimes we fall short of our goals, and it feels like we failed, like we're not good enough. But that's where the real test of belief comes in. When you fail, when things don't go as planned, it's not the end. It's a lesson. Every failure is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better. Every setback is a chance to rise stronger than before. But you can only see it that way if you believe in yourself. If you allow doubt and fear to take root, you'll miss the lesson and continue to fall into the trap of thinking you're not good enough. Belief doesn't mean that you'll never face challenges. It doesn't mean that everything will be easy, that you won't encounter obstacles along the way. What belief means is that no matter what comes your way, you have the power to overcome it. Belief means that you can look at the challenge, the difficulty, the fear, and say, I can do this. I will get through this, and the truth is you will. Because you have everything you need inside of you to succeed. You just have to believe it, trust in it, and never back down. Think about the times in your life when you've accomplished something significant. Whether it was landing a new job, completing a big project, or overcoming a personal struggle, there was a moment when you believed in yourself enough to take that first step. Without that belief, you wouldn't have moved forward. Belief in yourself is the fuel that drives action. If you want to make something happen, if you want to turn your dreams into reality, you must first believe that it's possible. That belief is what will give you the strength to keep going, even when things get tough. When you don't believe in yourself, you don't take action, you don't push through the fear or the doubt, you hold yourself back and you stay stuck. Belief in yourself is also about trusting the process. It's about knowing that your journey won't always be linear, that it's not a straight path from where you are to where you want to be. There will be twists, turns, detours, and bumps along the way. But if you believe in yourself, you trust that you are heading in the right direction. Even when things don't go as planned, you know that the setbacks are just part of the journey. They're not the end. They're just obstacles to be overcome. But if you don't believe in yourself, those obstacles will seem insurmountable. You'll give up before you've had a chance to learn, grow, and succeed. The power of belief also lies in its ability to quiet the voices of doubt. Everyone has an inner critic. Everyone has that voice in their head telling them they're not good enough, that they're not capable, that they don't deserve success. But that voice is a liar. It's a product of fear and insecurity, not reality. The only way to silence that voice is by replacing it with a stronger voice, a voice of self-belief. Every time that voice of doubt creeps in, you need to counter it with a voice of confidence. You need to remind yourself of who you are, of what you've already accomplished, of the strength you have inside of you. The more you practice this, the more your belief in yourself will grow. Over time, that inner critic will lose its power, and you'll start to operate from a place of confidence instead of fear. But belief in yourself doesn't mean being arrogant or overconfident. It doesn't mean thinking you're invincible or that you can do everything on your own. True belief in yourself is about having a realistic understanding of your strengths and weaknesses. It's about acknowledging that you have room to grow, that you have the potential to improve, and that you're capable of learning from your mistakes. Belief is about having the courage to face your limitations head on, to ask for help when needed, and to keep moving forward despite the obstacles. It's not about being perfect. It's about trusting that you will figure things out, even if it takes time. One of the most important aspects of believing in yourself is learning to be patient with the process. We live in a world of instant gratification where we want everything now, but success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, hard work, and persistence. And in order to get through the tough times, you need to have faith that everything will fall into place if you keep going. Believing in yourself means trusting that the effort you're putting in today will pay off in the future. It means knowing that the journey is just as important as the destination, and that every step, no matter how small, is progress. There will be moments in your life when the odds are stacked against you, when things feel impossible, when it seems like nothing is working out. And that's when you need to dig deep and believe in yourself more than ever. That's when you need to trust that you have the strength, the resilience, and the determination to make it through. It won't be easy, but you've faced challenges before. You've survived hardships before. And each time you came out stronger. Belief in yourself is what will keep you going in those moments. It's what will keep you from quitting when everything feels too hard. You have to keep pushing, keep fighting, keep believing, because on the other side of that struggle is growth, success, and fulfillment. There's no greater power than believing in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you create the foundation for everything you want to achieve. When you believe in yourself, you are unstoppable. It's not about being perfect, it's about having the courage to try, to fail, and to keep going. So today, right now, choose to believe in yourself. Choose to trust that you have everything you need inside of you to accomplish your dreams. Choose to see the potential within you, even when the world doubts you. Because the truth is, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else can. But if you do, there's nothing you can't achieve.